It's no secret that Dr. Xeno Houston Wingfield is Dr. Stone's most iconic villain. It's also no secret that he loves to call things elegant. But what does he mean when he says that science is elegant? Oddly enough, it isn't just this quirky thing that Inagaki made up. Elegant science is an approach to research that can be seen in mathematics, biology, and just about every field of science. And it's also a way for mankind to find beauty in the natural laws of the universe. So in this video, I want to go over how elegant science reflects the nuanced character of Dr. Xeno, how it influences the events of Dr. Stone, and how it ultimately is a human experience. Be warned that this will contain spoilers. Before I get started, make sure to comment with your thoughts on elegant science. I'll pick my favorite and share it as comment of the week in the next video. This week's comment goes to Zamora, who shared their thoughts on Eden Zero. If you'd like more Dr. Stone and other manga discussions like this one, then make sure to subscribe and follow along with each week's video. So, what is this idea of elegant science? Well, when you look at how Dr. Xeno uses it, you can see it has a few different meanings. First, let's just point out the fact that sometimes he really does just say it for the sake of saying it. Xeno is an extra bitch, so sometimes, yeah, he's gonna say some extra stuff. But there are times when his catchphrase actually means something. For example, when we first meet Xeno and he's interrogating Gen, he says that Gen's answers flow without hesitation and that it's almost elegant. Here, elegant implies a sort of perfection or grace, since Gen's answers lack any clear faults. And this actually lines up with the definition of elegant that pops up when you do a quick Google search. But that's only one definition. Google should also show you the definition for science, which focuses more on the idea of simplicity, which might seem kinda odd cause, science isn't exactly the easiest thing to learn. And while that is true, and I can back it up with my grades from high school chemistry, any Dr. Stone fan should know that science can also be incredibly straightforward. For example, who could forget Chrome's 4D chess plan to just glue a bunch of Medusas to a boat? It sounds like such a dumb idea, but at the same time, it's just so perfectly simple and completely solved their problem. To which our dear Dr. Xeno says science is truly elegant. So this time elegant clearly means something simple, but not simple as in something that's lacking. Simple as in basic, fundamental, easy to understand. Now, at this point, you're probably still wondering what any of this has to do with modern science. Well, like I've already mentioned, elegance in science depends on who you ask. It's an idea that can be seen in fields ranging from cellular biology, neuroscience, astrophysics, and even mathematics. But the strange thing is that this isn't some ancient philosophy that's been taught to scientists and mathematicians for generations. Okay, technically it is, because the 14th century theologian Occam coined what is commonly referred to as Occam's razor. This basically just says that the simplest explanation is the best explanation. But Occam's razor didn't just suddenly revolutionize how people viewed science. According to the American Society for Microbiology, less than 100 articles were published in the database PubMed with elegant in the title or abstract. But now, you can expect at least 300 articles every year. Clearly, this is an idea that's only just gained popularity, meaning that it's not this idea that you always come across whenever you look at science. At least, not exactly. See, everyone at some point in their life has had an experience with elegant science. But because it can take on these different meanings, it's hard to know that you've experienced it unless you know what you're looking for. We've already talked about elegant science as perfect or simple, but there's still other ways to look at it. For example, one article from the New Yorker defines elegant science as simplicity plus capaciousness. Capaciousness meaning that the elegant idea you're looking at is actually so fundamental that it can guide your understanding of even more ideas. The article then quotes an astrophysicist who said that Newton's second law of motion, force equals mass times acceleration, is elegant because you can use it to explain the motion of almost anything. It's not enough that something fits well or is easy to understand. If something is going to be elegant, then you should be able to take it and apply it somewhere else. To use Chrome as another example, you can see this in almost all of his inventions, as he takes something he learned from Senku and invents something completely different using the same idea. But it should be noted that science isn't always elegant. As simple as it can be, the universe is also chaotic and messy, especially in the field of evolution. The characteristics that get inherited are random, so sometimes what you get is just what you get. But that means elegant science isn't always necessary. Sometimes the right answer isn't the simple answer. So then, what is the value of elegant science if it's only just gaining popularity and it's not this universal principle? Well, allow me to answer that with another question. What's the value of music? According to the same New Yorker article, mathematicians in the UK were placed in an fMRI and were shown math equations, music, and art. The fMRI scans revealed that the same part of their brains that reacted to the math equations also reacted to the music and art. What this shows is that we as humans are able to enjoy learning about science and piecing things together the same way we're able to enjoy art or music or anything creative. The irony is that art and science are supposed to be different. Science is supposed to be dry and objective, while art is supposed to be fun and subjective. But clearly they're not these two separate things. Clearly, humans are capable of finding the same subjective value in viewing art as they do in solving a math equation. So, to quote the ASM article, elegant science is ultimately a human judgment. The laws of the universe just exist, but humans can find special value in these laws and how they work. They can attach their own personal value to them just like they can to a book, a video game, or even a drawing. And this is something we can see with almost any of the characters in Dr. Stone. One particularly beautiful example I like to think of is the big Eureka moment in South America. Just look at the way Joel explodes with excitement after he finally figures out how to make this diamond. It's something that gives him a personal sense of fulfillment. Then we move on to Kaseki, who gets to know that all his life's work led to this one moment. He breaks out into tears not just at the thought of his success, but also at the beauty and the transcendent nature of science. Both these characters find elegance in the diamonds as they piece them together and reach that eureka moment, but they also find elegance through their personal effort in the sense of fulfillment that they achieve as a result of it. Now, like I said, these two aren't the only ones to find elegance in science. So to bring things back to Dr. Xeno, how does this reflect his nuanced character? Well, the more obvious element of Xeno's character is his value of science over anything else. He tells Chrome that in the 21st century, the ignorant masses failed to see the true value of science, which is why he decided to rule the world like the mad scientist he is. There's no question that this makes Xeno evil, considering he's like, morals, who needs them? But notice how he focuses on the true value of science. As someone who regularly looks for elegance in science, Xeno would be fully aware of everything we've just talked about, including the subjective nature of elegant science. And there's plenty of examples where we can see that this is the case. Sometimes he'll use elegant in the more traditional sense like here, where he says that sniping is elegant because it's short and simple, but other times he'll use it as a way of describing something as artistic. Before he described it as efficient, Xeno distinguished his plan from Maya's plan of using brute force and called his elegant. This time, by contrasting it with a brutish plan, Xeno's use of elegant implies a more graceful connotation. Then there's the times like here where he can't help but respect the hard work of others. Chrome, someone born in the stone world, was able to piece together this plan to capture Xeno using a tunnel all on his own. Amazed, Xeno can only describe his invention and his achievement as truly elegant. So as someone who understands the different layers of elegant science, Xeno behaves in a number of different ways. His value of science can often lead him to place progress over solidarity, but it's that same value that allows him to respect and appreciate others. Likewise, the same can be said for the elegant nature of science. At times, it might seem like it's so simple, but there's often more to it than that. The laws of the natural world are universal, but the sense of purpose we find in these laws isn't cut in stone. And that's what it means to find elegance in science. And that's it for this discussion. Hopefully I was able to teach you just a little bit more about the artistic side of science, and give you a better appreciation for Dr. Xeno. If I did, then make sure to let me know by liking the video. And if you'd like more Dr. Stone and other manga discussions like this one, then make sure to subscribe and follow along with each week's video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.